is Talitha Kume, and you're tuned in to Intimate Conversations, presented by Food for the Soul. Hot 7025 FM. Make radio great again.
Welcome to Intimate Conversations with your girl, Talitha Kume, presented by Food for the Soul Media Group on Hot 702.5 FM and live on our FB page, Food for the Soul Media Group. Stay tuned in, y'all, and we will be right back. In these uncertain times, everyone needs a hand up. Becoming a sponsor or making a donation to Food for the Soul Media Group is a great opportunity to help. Intimate Conversations with Talitha and Bobby airs every Saturday at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Hot 702.5, streaming radio, and live on our FB page. Intimate Conversations discusses all of those topics we don't like to talk about. Become a sponsor or donate today at foodforthesoulmediagroup.press. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in this afternoon to Intimate Conversations with Talitha and Bobby, presented by Food for the Soul Media Group here on Hot 702.5 FM and on our Food for the Soul FB page. If you guys have not already, please go like our page, follow us on Instagram at Food for the Soul Media Group and or Lay Worldwide, and subscribe to our YouTube stations, Food for the Soul Media Group and Intimate Conversations. You guys, if you would like to call in and be a part of our conversation today, you can do so by calling 702-551-5261 when we open our lines. Or you can comment on our Facebook page, and don't forget to hashtag us at hashtag Food for the Soul and Intimate Conversations, you guys. So I'm trying to share this and it's not sharing. What is going on? Help me with that. I don't know how to share that. Oh, there it goes. All right, and I was trying to tag you guys too. So our theme for the month has been the calm before the storm. And this is our last Saturday of the month. And today we wanted to finish discussing our conversation, The Turn, and do a part two, because we did The Turn not last week because Bobby wasn't here, the weekend before last. And we were talking about, or we were asking if black people were on the come up. So we're asking if they were on the come up. And when we looked at some of the articles that I found in statistics, we saw a little increase of a come up. And then Bobby told us that we were on the black side, or he felt like we were on the black side of the yin and yang. So really quick, Reese, what do you think? Do you think that we're on the turn up as blacks? Are we getting our turn? Are we up right now?
I believe so.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. With everything that's going on?
Yeah, better opportunities.
Yeah.
We have now, because we have to slow down, so we got more time to research, to look up stuff.
You hear me?
So
that's what I said. I said, as far as the research 2020, if it didn't teach us nothing else, we learned a lot about ourselves and just the world in a whole. And we decided to start doing some different stuff and realized that we had been, we had a lot of falsehoods going on.
Been bamboozled.
So our eyes were really opened in 2020. So today I want to discuss what that looks like for the LGBTQ community. Is the Equality Act a part of the turn? And I wanted to ask, why have so many abandoned the faith, especially our black sisters, and what have they turned to? So we're in the studio today with our good friend Reese, the Peacock Stylist, in the building. What's good, Reese? Tell our listeners about yourself.
Well, hello. I am Reese, the Peacock Stylist. I am from D-Town, which is Dallas, Texas, and not Detroit.
Yes, right. The D-Town.
Yeah, Dallas.
So, by my profession, I am a hairstylist. Been over about 20 years. Like I said, I'm born and raised from Dallas.
Yeah.
I actually met Talitha first. With some girl organization, we're gonna just say that, and we just kind of bonded and blended and start, you know what I'm saying, just loving on each other. And then, of course, you know, when you meet one, you meet the other. So then I'm Big Bobby is what I say when I'm rolling down the street and I see him. He became my friend, my fellow designer, and all of this stuff. So just in the world of creativity is how I was blessed for you two to be in my life, so I was excited about that.
Oh, we win, big time.
And so, just here to just be on.
Yeah.
They already trying to make me come out here full time.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean,
I don't know how my people would feel.
Yeah, they wouldn't like that at all.
Right.
At all. So, before we get into the show, Reese actually was out here celebrating a friend's birthday. But she happened to be able to come through and help us this weekend as well. So, Bobby, talk about the I Am Self-Love fashion show that we just participated in real quick. Shout out to K Paris Productions, too.
K Paris Productions, what's happening?
Yeah.
Man, everybody around me pretty. That it was pretty. There's a lot of beautiful people there, man.
Yeah.
It was good to see her have the balls to throw a whole predominantly black fashion show right in the middle of a golf course.
With predominantly
older white guys who were, you're messing up my Friday morning. You sour my grits. I'm mad. So it was good and ballsy to see that, man. It felt great. It felt like true liberation, man. It felt like the black side of the yin-yang.
Yeah.
And they're trying to demonize that like, oh, well, it's going to get this and that. Nah, y'all mean we're fixing to start winning and y'all are mad that the rebuttal's coming.
Yeah.
So it was great. I know that's a little bit off, but I think that's why she did that. So it was awesome to me.
I dug it. I dug it. We had a really, really good time. And again, shout out to all the models that participated in the show. And shout out to the artist Red.
Hey, Red, what's happening? Come get your vest, man. I don't know why you gave it back.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, that was for you.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and get into the show. First, we're going to be talking about the Equality Act. So it's a lot of reading. So I need you guys to pay attention because you are going to be commenting on it.
On her reading.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of reading.
Welcome to class.
Dog. Okay. So you guys, I'm going to try and do it as fast as I can. I try to pull some stuff, but you know how it is. So anyway, the Equality Act is a landmark piece of legislation that would expand federal civil rights laws to protect LGBTQ people from discrimination in employment, housing, credit, jury service, and federally funded programs such as those for health and education, as well as public places and spaces. They say non-discrimination protections are sorely needed.
Yeah.
A nationally representative 2020 survey from the Center for American Progress revealed that 1 in 3 LGBTQ Americans, including 3 in 5 transgender Americans, experienced discrimination in just the past year. So the fact sheets explain how the Equality Act advances fair treatment for LGBTQ people, women, people of color, and people of faith. And so it says the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in Bostic, Clayton County 7 that it is illegal under the Title V of Civil Rights Act of 1964 for an employer to not hire or to fire or to otherwise discriminate against individuals because of their sexual orientation or gender identity. So the Equality Act is going to ensure that that does not happen. So I'm just going to kind of briefly paraphrase some of this stuff. And then the Equality Act, as far as housing is concerned, it amended the Fair Housing Act, or is going to amend the Fair Housing Act, which says that LGBTQ people would be protected under that. Specifically, the law would prohibit differential treatment in renting, selling, pricing, eviction, service provision, shelter access, homeowners insurance, mortgage lending, and other activities, along with harassment, coercion, and retaliation in the exercise of their fair housing rights. Federally funded programs. The federal government funds a wide range of programs, including shelters, schools, community health centers, adoption agencies, and law enforcement or carceral institutions. So the amendment is going to benefit LGBTQ students in federally funded schools by clarifying federal protection against bullying, harassment, ensuring that students have the right to use sex-segregated facilities and participate in sex-segregated activities in accordance with their gender identity. Public spaces. It says that the Equality Act would establish protection in public accommodation. That means that businesses open to the public, such as restaurants and pharmacies, would face accountability if they discriminate against, mistreat, or refuse to serve LGBTQ individuals. And it says it also, the Equality Act would ensure protections for race, color, religion, national origin, and sex in public spaces, including retail stores, transportation, and healthcare providers. And here's the last one. So it said the Equality Act would benefit many religious people and would not undermine existing religious exemptions in the amended civil rights laws, despite the suggestions of opponents of the LGBTQ equality. So people of faith would in fact receive new protections from discrimination. Meanwhile, religious organizations would retain all the same exemptions they already have under the civil rights law. They would still be allowed to favor people of the same religion so long as they do not discriminate based on other protected characteristics. Importantly, the Equality Act clarifies that the Religious Freedom Restoration Act cannot serve as a defense against claims of discrimination. So this ensures that religion cannot be weaponized as a license to discriminate, including against people for their religious beliefs. So that is some of the Equality Law Act, you guys. So let's unpack it.
Well, why was that printed in red? Was that the words of Christ? On your notes.
You know what? You're funny. You are so funny, I'm not even finna get into that with you right now. So anyway, so what are we thinking? We talked about this on my other show, Rude Awakening, and there was a lot to say. So I asked you guys if this bill was similar to the first Civil Rights Act bill that was passed in 1964. I say that because I was asking if we feel like the LGBTQ community is fighting for their rights to have the same equality that heterosexual people have, right? So I was asking if this, or if we feel, or if anybody feels that this is similar to when black people were fighting for our civil rights and white people were like, oh no, we don't want the niggers around.
Right.
And are we now the believers or the religious community treating the LGBTQ the same exact way? So let's go. Reese, tell me what you think.
And some perspectives, like, I think it is almost similar to what we as black culture had to go through. But then, now you have like, okay, so being black and gay is like double. So you have to go through it in different communities,
that's
what I'm saying, to prove yourself to be just as human as everybody else, right? So, and that's just where the conflict comes in at.
Right.
And it's crazy that, it's okay for, even when we put it religion, it's okay if, they quote unquote, the choir directors say this, their talents are being able to be used, but they cannot be themselves.
Facts.
Right.
On the podium.
Right.
So I just feel like, it's like,
Yes,
it's a
double-
contradiction.
And you said black, right?
Contradiction.
And black and gay is double, and you got black, gay, and racist,
Right.
Which is triple, and that's Ellen,
Right.
She getting kicked in the face all over the place.
Yeah.
But I think that when does it stop? So we're fighting this today, So the restroom thing, we saw some restrooms the other day that were
gender specific. So
right.
Not gender specific. They were open gender. So they were, you can go there, man or a woman, whatever.
So I come from a household where that's not normal, where I see something like that, then I act weird and I get all kind of stranged out by seeing some lady walk out of the stall. How do you fix that? This is never gonna stop.
Right.
It has to be a complete washout and then start over for any of this to stop. It's just, I'm seeing it bigger than just black and gay. This is, well, why can't I do this? They got away with it. Well, why can't I do this? They got away with it. Then, in 100 years, this whole thing would be upside down because everybody wants to get away with everything they want to get away with because they're all set in their damn feelings, as opposed to just seeing the natural order and just letting that thing roll. I feel that way. So,
I think it's a hard sell though because of the makeup of society, period, and then the creation. You know what I'm saying? So as far as we can remember, we were taught. As far as we can remember, we were taught that man is man,
right.
Woman is woman, and so because society divides everything from that concept, it's going to be very hard to change that unless people start changing, because you have men and women in the world, and so being taught that for years and years and years and years and years, you know what I'm saying? Then that's going to be hard to change that ideology of how we see stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like how we were.
I think it's happening now. It's happening. It's happening fast.
You think?
Yeah, to where that line is getting pretty blurred. We're not really seeing that too much.
Right.
We're getting to a see people society. I'm with it. I just feel a little bit sideways about having to change the pronouns. Is that right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know
based upon, it's just kind of easy to say neutral instead of.
It's just so hard to a lot of people,
Because if I
especially coming
see
from
you,
the South.
right? If I see
you know.
you, it'll be ma'am or sir, but
Right.
that might not necessarily be the case.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, so you just have to automatically be what seems to be in most part of the country rude to be acceptable or accepted or to keep people from feeling unaccepted.
Okay. And then people are going, and then you're going to get those people that are going to be really upset. Like,
But us in the hip hop culture, we're good. We can make it because it's fam, bro, everybody bro. So it don't really matter at that point. You can't get offended, dude.
I don't like being called bro though.
But
I
all
hate
right,
it.
whatever, bro, for sure.
And that, but that also comes back to the terminology when white people say, "Hey, dudes," instead of ladies
Right.
or sir, they would
Right.
just be like,
Or
"What's up?"
guys. I
Yeah,
hear guys
hey
a lot.
guys, but it's never,
Right.
gender purpose.
Right.
But we don't like that either. So but I'm like, nobody's gonna be ever satisfied. It's gonna
That's
always
what I'm
be
saying.
something.
It's like the people who are the most dissatisfied are fighting the hardest, and that's the reason why people are winning.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being satisfied in whatever the hell you're satisfied with. Just be you and go do that. That's fine. Find you 6, 7 other people that do that same you and be great over there. That shouldn't be a big issue. But it is because we want to be greedy and we want more people to see us and more people to, all that. Setting the feelings. And that's the reason why this thing will never stop until we get that. And it's deeper than that. It's
That's
deeper than
crazy.
equality. And what's next? I can't be racist in my own neighborhood now? What? Get the hell out of here. They can get away with it. You're going to let me say niggers as many times as I need to. And if I want to hang these flags in front of my house, I'm going to do that. Tell you what. Right? And then they go fight, then they can get away with it. And where we at? Well, you sure right. Yeah, you sure, nigga, you sure right. Yeah, you can't tap dance too long around it. It's got to stop somewhere. So.
Yeah, it's real crazy.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. What about, but with the very last one, the reason why I did do that in red was because it seemed, if you guys listen to it, it seemed kind of contradictory to me a little bit.
So
It seemed like they were saying that this Equality Act would actually protect religion and it would protect the LGBTQ at the same time.
Right.
But it also said that we couldn't, as believers, we couldn't use it to weaponize the LGBTQ community, and we could not serve. Like,
Right.
remember the incident with the company that didn't want to do the cake for that the couple that wanted to get married, and they got sued and they ended up going out of business, I believe.
Right.
And so this is saying that we're protected, but it doesn't seem like we are protected if they decide that they don't want to do that type of cake or something.
I don't
or like, what if they
understand. I
don't
never
want to
understood
perform?
that.
What if they don't want to perform an LGBTQ
None
wedding?
of that stuff, I've never agreed or understood any of that. Because, you go to McDonald's, you ain't feeling that same way. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm here to serve. It's funny, the only people that seem to want to beat down on other people and refuse to serve them based on whatever they believe are Christians.
Okay.
Because we spend all of our money with Buddhists and Muslims all day. They ain't never turn away nothing from us. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
All thing they do is shut the door. The Muslims shut the door 7 times to go pray.
What you
Buddhists
think?
just switch out the look. They still run the game on us.
What you think? Reese?
So
That is a difference as far as.
I was just saying that if the Equality Act is supposed to protect religious beliefs as well as the LGBTQ community, but then they turn around and say that a pastor is weaponizing their belief by not performing a LGBTQ wedding, then they're wrong. So I'm saying, how is that? It seems contradictory.
it's
to me a
definitely
little bit.
wrong, because if this person has the belief enough to come to your janky behind to marry them, then for some reason they believe that you should do that. That should be enough. But the reason that we're falling off as human beings is because most people want to act goddish and be God and do his job. It's not your job. Your job is just to perform a wedding. Perform the damn wedding. And then let those people work whatever they got to work out if that's what they got to do. That's none of your business. You're not sleeping with them. None of that. I never understood that, and I won't.
Yeah. It's just hard. I mean, I have to just do my research to know who's going to be comfortable enough to do that before. I can't get mad because everybody don't feel the way I feel.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what I was saying. I was just saying that for me.
But they get mad at you for feeling like you do, though.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not right.
But I'm saying that I wouldn't get mad. That's why I said I'm not that person. I'm not that believer. But what I'm saying is that I do believe that if I'm in the LGBTQ community, then why not go to a community, or why not go to a minister that will perform my ceremony? Why would I get mad or upset
they didn't?
Or go? No. I'm not saying that they didn't.
But even in that, finding a minister that's, you know, in the community would have been hard at that moment. So,
well, at that time maybe it would have been. But what I'm saying is that if I go to someone who believes the way, because it also said in there that they're not going to, they're protecting a religious organization that wants to partner with other religious organizations that believe the way they believe. So that's the same thing. If I'm an LGBTQ, then go to a minister that will perform my ceremony, but don't go to, if I go to Joe Smith, the Reverend Joe Smith, and he says, well, I believe that marriage is between a man and a woman, so I can't in good faith perform your ceremony. Oh, okay,
but I can
cool,
perform
Pastor.
all your divorces.
I'm saying, okay, cool, Pastor, move around. Pastors don't perform divorces.
They okay it though whenever they married the wrong people
and then,
in the beginning.
but I don't understand how this. I understand what you're saying, but a lot of people, we have a lot of people in the community don't go to a now we call them gay friendly churches.
Yeah.
That's not where we go. We go to a
regular church, right?
Normal church.
Okay.
And so if I'm worthy enough for me to tithe and to be your servant inside your church, why can't you do that?
Right. I agree with that.
So
I
those
agree
are
with that.
like, you know, if I'm being fed that this is my family, this is who's nurturing me, then yes, I will feel comfortable without having to go to do research to find a gay friendly pastor or somebody ordained. I would want to go to my person that I've been going to since I was 12 that knows me.
Right.
So I feel like that ends up being a personal decision and not based upon the religion. Like,
so it's,
you know,
it's contradictory is what you're saying.
Yes.
So you're saying if I'm an LGBTQ person and I'm going to your church and I'm tithing and I'm doing all these things, or
Singing all,
or if I'm
saying?
leading the choir, whatever I'm doing, if I'm at your church, pastor so and so, and then I come to you and I say, hey, you know, I want to bring my girlfriend because we want to go ahead and get married. Oh no, Talitha. I mean, you can tithe, Sister Talitha, and you can serve, Sister Talitha, but we don't believe in that, Sister Talitha. So we're not gonna. Let me refer you to. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
like,
because now that has happened, and that's why a lot of people now rebut it because they like, well, I've been here for 10 years, and you knew what I was, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just think that's where some of the issues come. So I probably would stand firm in that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now you're saying that the community is fighting back because they're saying, okay, you can use me here, but when I want to do this, you can't use me.
Right now, it's all of a sudden it's a problem. It's
Or
it's gonna be embarrassing.
Right.
Or, it's gonna,
or you can use me to lead your choir because we're always talking about that, and that's some of the big issues because a lot of LGBTQ communities they do have that they're just really into music, right? So now I'm the choir director at your church, but it's on the hush that I live with my boyfriend. So nobody knows. I mean, they know, but they don't know. But we don't talk about it. So I can live with my boyfriend, and pastor very well knows that I do. But then when I come and I say something, or I want to come and be just free and be myself, now it's a problem. Right. So that's what you guys are saying. And I can totally agree with that. So I believe that at that point, you know what I'm saying, the pastor, you're the one who has to set the standard. And it's up to you on how you do things and how. And that's hard. Yeah, it's hard because, y'all know that I'm a pastor's kid.
I mean, yeah. Oh, for you it's hard. I was going to say, no, it shouldn't because, I mean, they're teaching and preaching to us to not judge. And at that point, that's what you're doing. Yeah,
I'm talking about, what I'm saying, the hard part is that as a pastor, you say, okay, well, everybody come and receive love and receive this word. But as a pastor, if I believe that is a sin, just like I believe fornication is a sin and all that other kind of stuff, and I'm preaching that is a sin, and then you have people that are coming into your community or into your church that live that lifestyle, then you have to figure out as a pastor what you're going to do because it does look contradictory. It very well, I mean, it just does.
It's always contradictory from the start. They look over... massive sins like weakness.
You look over.
Weakness is a massive sin.
You look over gossip. You look over all of that stuff, and you just point to that one key.
Right.
That one key sin, and now everybody's up in arms about it. So I agree. I completely agree with that. So and I told you that I asked about the gluttony, but I can't get into that because that'll be really long. So gluttony being a sin, and you got all these fat pastors out here like, what y'all preaching about that? What y'all what y'all talking about?
And not with no health issues, like
Yeah.
with some real, hey, I'm gonna eat 7,000 calories a night. Y'all coming? We're gonna go to Golden Corral and close it down.
So you guys, my next topic is I was going to open up the line. So if you guys want to call in, you surely can. I'm only going to take one call if somebody wants to call in. 702-551-5261, talking about the Equality Act if you have something to say. But my next topic in the turn, we are talking about, I want to discuss black women, us folks, or my folks, or people like me. There are a growing number of African American women who have chosen for themselves a new life, leaving the church in search of more meaning in their lives. So, in the promotion for her book, the Ebony Exodus Project, the author was talking about why some black women are walking out on religion and others should do the same. She said that black women are the single most religious demographic in the United States, yet they are among the poorest, least educated, and least healthy groups in the nation. Drawing on the author's own experience as an evangelical minister and her present work as a secular counselor and researcher, the Ebony Exodus Project makes a direct connection between the church and the plight of black women. Through interviews with African American women who have left the church, the author reveals the shame and suffering often caused by the church and the resulting happiness, freedom, and sense of purpose these women have felt upon walking away. And so the book calls on other black women to honestly reflect on their relationship with religion and challenges them to consider that perhaps the answers to their problems rest not inside a church, but inside of themselves. So let's unbag this one in discussing the term. Do we think that black women are doing better now that they are discovering or rediscovering their true selves? Because I had my good friend Kelly Marisha on my first show that I did here at Hot 702, and she has completely walked away from the faith, and she talked about her being a coach, helping other people transition from the church and religion. Mm-hmm. So
West Coast coffee go hard.
Why, Reese? Are you really looking at the coffee trying to? Reese, what has been your experience as far as the church is concerned, and what do you think about that? Why do you think so many black women are leaving the faith?
I don't necessarily know if they're leaving it.
Okay.
It's almost kind of like when we have relaxers and we kind of just transition back to natural hair,
Okay.
So,
okay.
Right.
I think they're just learning more,
Right.
because we do have so many denominations. We do pick and choose what we want to read from, the biblical standpoint, that it can be like, oh, it goes back to that, oh, well, what's good? It's just like, it's just time that you research your own stuff, get your own being, and then that it's okay to read Buddhist books or, Unitarian books. So, to open your mind to know what the difference between religion and faith is, or being spiritual, and it's just about the things that we need to go back as far as just knowing health-wise, naturally, that things from the earth are good.
Right.
Being around, everybody now, we know what real vitamin D is and not just, some other things. When you see rocks, you kind of know the difference now. But it's also that feeling that you do. I mean, I just sometimes feel when people say, like meditation is you talking to God. Like they different, but they the same. And just because I'm doing one more doesn't mean that I don't believe in something. You still believing in. You just want to bring it more inwardly. Like you trust yourself, you trust your gut, you love and you get love. It's what your mind is telling you to do. Yeah. And not the entity of the God or the Trinity.
Or religion, right.
Yes.
I can agree with that, Reese. Before I let you comment, because it's in my head and I just wanted to say it, that the one thing, like I said before, I think I appreciated my father because he studied other religions. And so I'll say this and I'll say this again until I'm blue in the face. I believe that it is totally okay for you to study other religions and you decide what religion or what path you want to follow. And so as a believer, it's not my place to tell you exactly what to do. It's just to, if I want to share my faith, because that's what our religion believes, that we should share our faith. So I share my faith with you, or I share my testimony with you, and then you decide what it is that you want to do. But it shouldn't be on me to say, no, you can't study Buddhism. No, you can't study this. No, you can't study that. Let you do what it is that you do, and then go from there. And so I think that that's where we as believers are kind of missing the mark, because I believe that we should evangelize. We should, if that's what our religion teaches us to do, which it does. You put it out there, and then you know, if people have questions, they'll come to you and they'll ask. You know what I'm saying? Right. But like Reese said, if I'm reading from a Buddhist book, or if I'm studying Islam, there might be some very a lot of similarities in that and the Christian faith. And so if I want to take those and I want to apply this one and apply that one as well, if that's okay, you know what I'm saying? If I have a personal relationship with God, is he going to say, oh no, go to hell because you're meditating the wrong way? It's just weird. It's just kind of weird, and I have a lot of questions about it. But what do you think, Bob?
I just feel like I'm now looking at everything being a big chip off the same block.
Okay.
It's just some people receive this part of the block, some people receive this part.
Okay.
You know, you let a dog lick you in the face, but you won't let him pee on your shoes. But all that liquid is formulated from the same air.
Okay.
You know, it's a mutation from the same molecules.